A good Sunday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda, and they're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Main thing here is we do have as a matter of fact, a recon mission getting ready to work over Category 1 Hurricane Rosa. It's interesting, this makes a landfall and takes it into Arizona. This track has been very solid, and this looks to be the case as we're going to have some decent amounts of moisture fall even in the Phoenix area with even amounts greater than 2 inches. Meanwhile, moisture that's been spreading in, and some of that from the Gulf of Mexico, some of that from the Pacific Ocean, is on its way, tracking in kind of an elongated weather pattern that will then push into Vermont. We're looking at several days of rainy weather. This is the way it's going to be for quite some time, with a lot of cloud cover, not like we would mostly been seeing through most of the summer and into a good portion of this fall so far. Looking at the GFS ensemble, this is the rest of today, so this is Monday, and that's when it looks like the majority of the precipitation is going to be falling. We're not talking about very much, but we have what looks to be 3.5 days of wet weather, with the last day being the most significant at this point. And of course, following that, we're looking at a drier stretch here as we get into basically on Friday, and probably lasting into Saturday, and then beyond that, it looks like we're going to see other chances of precipitation. So this is total accumulated QPF, or quantitative precipitation forecast, and total precipitation puts us on the average about 1.5 inches. And the European model also brings us anywhere from an inch to as much as 2.5 inches in a few spots. You can see the Weather Prediction Center forecast, total QPF for the next 7 days, with a highlight of over 4 inches in some parts of the upper Midwest, lower Great Lakes region. And then, of course, that tracks into northern New England, with the most being a little bit more into northern Vermont. This blue line here is about the 1 inch amount, so we're pretty close to 1 inch or higher, and in some cases probably over 2.5 inches. In terms of the daily weather, this is our precipitation getting ready to come in across the Great Lakes. You can see as we get into the day on Monday, we're looking at some precipitation over, it looks like 1,500 of an inch in the green. Then it kind of skirts on south. This is kind of a wavy frontal system, comes back north as a warm front. We're into the morning hours on Tuesday, and this is when the bulk of the precipitation looks to be falling. Is going to be basically later in the day on Tuesday into Tuesday night. And then it moves on out as we get into Wednesday morning. Kind of makes a transition. We have a little area of higher pressure that builds in Wednesday night into the day on Thursday for a quick shot of drier weather. However, it does not last very long. And Thursday also sees some precipitation here in the afternoon. And then that is followed by an area of higher pressure. And it looks a little better chance to hold as we get into the day on Friday. That's our next really good project weather day, following today, Sunday, and that may last into, as it looks like right now, into the day on Saturday for the first day of this coming weekend, before yet another weather system begins to bring a frontal boundary across the region. That'll happen on Saturday night or Sunday. Here's a quick look at the 2-meter temperatures. So some pretty cool weather, maximum, minimum. You can see that we do get into some higher temperatures here along as we get about Thursday, as the slightly milder air begins to drop in. At 850 millibars, hectopascals, you can see it's pretty cold, but we do warm up aloft. That warmer air aloft keeps this as all rain. But that rain could be healthy at times with a little bit of higher precipitable water. It looks like it peaks out as we get into really on Tuesday. A little bit of a dip, and then later on as well. At 850 hectopascals, we're looking at really no winds associated to worry about. This is at about the top of Mount Mansfield, and winds generally that stay above or below 40 miles an hour, 40 knots, is a good deal. So, averaging from comparing from normal, we're going to be running about 3, perhaps 6 degrees above normal. And about 3 days later, we're looking at about the same, about 3 to 6 degrees above normal. You can see where the colder air is across the west, and this will be spreading across Canada, along with some snow not that far to our north. In the tropics, all we have is Leslie. It's no problem for anybody spending out in the central Atlantic. The tropics have really quieted down considerably. And for the world, you can see where the cold air is. This is anomalous cold. It's about the main area in the northern hemisphere. You see a little bit over Greenland, parts of Europe. This is fairly cold stuff, and this is going to spread snow across some of the higher terrain. It has already been happening in parts of Montana, the northern Rockies, and this is going to spread across Canada and be just to our north. But the overall trend is that this warmer air is going to be spreading back into our neck of the woods, keeping us seasonably warm or above normal, even through about the 15th of October as it looks right now. So looking at the European ensemble, you can see colder air across Canada, a little bit into northern New England. But watch our anomalous warmth begin to creep back in. This is continuing into Wednesday, and you can see it really starts to filter back. And take a look at that over the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes as it tracks toward Vermont. And then you can see another outbreak. And you can see conditions kind of jump up there, get a little bit warmer. This is 11 days out, 12 days out. And just to cut to the chase here, this is 15 days out. Still above normal, colder off to the west, to the north, and so forth. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.